Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the broadcast of Beyond the Summit. Now we're casting LGD Gaming International versus Orange Neolution. I keep saying Orange Esport. But I'm Luminous, I'm joined by Gods, and this is our continuing broadcast of GTS Challenge. We just witnessed that Vichy Gaming got knocked to the loser bracket by MBFC. And this is going to be our second series of the day.
Yeah, the second series of the day, probably the more highly anticipated one. Orange Esports up against LGD International, although Orange Esports haven't been in the best form lately. They've lost to Myth Trust just yesterday in the the Dota Talk League, and before that they lost to ABC, or the now MUFC, and then the GEST finals. So they're an Orange Esports who have one of the most stacked rosters like in Southeast Asia when you look at the players on their team, with Mushi, Ohio, Extinct, KYXY, Net, but they haven't really been bringing the results. LGD International, well,
I heard they're pretty good.
Defeat. Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're pretty good, to say the least. And it looks like the draft well underway as we see Magnus and Lifeslayer getting banned out. And LGD, when they get their Darkseer, it feels like their lane is just so much more powerful. Darkseer, in my opinion, beats just about anybody 1v1. And beats most trialing by himself. Why is this hero balanced again?
Well, yeah, good question. Hey, teams have actually been prioritizing him a lot less in the draft. LGD International, obviously, they know what's up and they pick him. I've seen him getting banned out he got banned out in the second stage between MUFC and Vichy Gaming. He definitely is sort of slipping further and further in the draft. Orange Esports, they grab themselves a Shadow Demon and Lone Druid. Generally, it's KYXY who plays the Lone Druid, though, and he's sort of their off-lane player. So this does sort of it potentially messes up their lanes a bit. We either have to see Lone Druid played in the well, he can easily be run in the off lane, but it's not really your to me, I much prefer seeing a farming Lone Druid in the safe lane or in a 1v1 matchup. So maybe they are offensive tri lane, or maybe we look to see maybe a Hayo swing into that off lane role.
Yeah, actually, I think that Darkseer is or Lone Druid is one of the heroes that actually matches up against the Darkseer, because your barrier is going to be tanking the full frontal of that Iron Shell, and you can actually mow it down by right-clicking that particular creep very quickly. So if Orange Esports gets that particular lane matchup, it might nullify Darkseer's laning ability. With that said, Darkseer is still insane of a hero, and you might not see that lane because let's say if LG Gaming gets a very, very powerful offensive tri lane, which they love to run, maybe Orange Esports have to respond accordingly. But for now, we see Shadow Demon and Lone Druid being picked up, and LGD Gaming taking a lot of time. Speaking of LGD Gaming, they've been running a lot of junglers. Chen, Enchantress, neither of these heroes are banned out. It will be very surprising for them to not pick up either of these junglers, as Misery kind of love running that hero kind of all day whenever he can.
Yeah, and I think Orange, they definitely know what they're up against. They would have checked out the G League Finals games. They know, even though they've never actually versed LGD International before, they'll have a good idea of what's going to be likely coming their way.
So, as I was so confident we're going to see a jungler, well, we're not.
You get the Queen of Pain, probably played in the mid lane for G, and they get their other support. They still can go with the offensive tri lane. I guess maybe they're thinking, we can decide whether we get a jungler or just like another hero like a Lina for the tri lane. I imagine, I mean, this being LGD International, generally it's their style to send the Rubik Darkseer +1 to the bottom lane, get a safe lane carry to go in that 1v1 matchup. Problem is, if it's an offlane Lone Druid, he wins that 1v1 matchup. Well, Lone Druid just like the king of 1v1 matchups in general. So I feel that's maybe going to be a deterrent. Maybe this is like one of the rare times we don't see LGD International do a 1v1 matchup unless they come up with something which they think matches up well against a Lone Druid. Because the key to doing that offensive tri lane is generally Pycat in the safe lane solo has a hero that wins that matchup. Quite convincingly, being the safe lane. He has something like a Lone Druid or a Luna, whatever it may be. Clinks every now and then, but it's going to be hard to do that up against a Lone Druid.
Indeed, indeed. And we're going to be up to the last pick here for Orange. Again, I'm not sure if it's okay to talk about this, but I think a lot of a lot of viewers would agree LGD International is going to be the heavy favorite going into this matchup. But I don't think we should count out Orange Esports. Like you said, they have the players. The skill level is definitely there. The coordination might not be as up to snuff as LGD Gaming, but on a good day, I'm pretty sure they could give LGD Gaming a run for their money, if you will.
Well, apparently Cyborg Matt is telling me just in a Skype convo that that LGD.int have gone 1-5 against Orange Esports in practice matches. So that is very one.
That's actually quite relevant. That's quite relevant.
Yeah, and these teams take their practice matches very seriously. Mushi is one of the most serious players out there, whether it's a scrim, a pub game, or an official match. LGD, they take their scrims like their actual, well, sort of this in-between set of matches, as well as maybe sort of trying out a new strategy, but always a strategy they think could be viable in a competitive match. So I'm really shocked by that, because Orange Esports have really been struggling lately, at least in the Southeast Asian region. Maybe it's just something about their playstyle which matches up well against LGD.int, but That's a shocking statistic for me, and I'm really, really surprised by it.
Yeah, I mean, I like you brought up the playstyle part because sometimes you just get a matchup where you are generally the better team with better win rate, you beat better opponent, but your particular playstyle just don't match as well against Orange. So maybe that's it. Enchantress and Chen is going to get banned out in second phase. Meanwhile, LG Gaming banning out both Clockwork as well as Leshrac. I gotta say, I love this Brewmaster pickup here. As not only can he, kind of initiate a team fight, you could really just throw the Darkseer up in the air or throw whoever up in the air and make the team fight a lot easier for a team. Also, it gives a lot of your front line a lot of tanking. How are you actually getting a kill against this Orange lineup? I feel like their heroes are very tanky. You have that Shadow Demon back up as a disruption. So for the most part, I'm liking Orange's draft so far. But obviously, LG's got the quote-unquote better laning heroes. As Darkseer, Queen of Pain, these are pretty impressive laners.
I'd love to see them go back maybe towards their Lycan draft. That's a draft which they think they have a lot of success with, and it's at times I think something like Brax said they win like 80 to 90% of their games when they pick up that Lycan in the safe lane. They don't really have that ultra mobile lineup. The Enchantress has been banned out with that sort of nice long range Impetus harass, and the Weaver they can't grab as well. So maybe not going to be easy to fit in here. But if they want to go for a safe lane solo, that's maybe one hero who can do okay up against a lone Druid. But generally speaking, these mid-game teamfights are going to be tough to go up against. I like what Orange have done. They've also got heroes they're really comfortable using. They've got the Brewmaster for a high up mid lane, KYX1 Lone Druid, one of his better heroes. They need something for Mushi in a farming role. But for now, it's going to be Keeper of the Light, making it all the way through to 4th pick. Are we watching like the same Dota that we were watching like 2 days ago?
Apparently not. Apparently not. And Keeper of the Light making it so late in the pick, that is going to be an indication that Phantom Lancer could be an option. And oh god, I mean, that safe lane carry has not been picked up just yet. I'm hoping for a Lycanthrope because Lycanthrope, one of those heroes that could take advantage of other split pushers. Keeper of Light's going to make your entire team split pushers, if you will, because of the recall ability. But it's starting to look more and more like the Keeper of Light and Phantom Lancer combo.
Yeah, and I guess the worry is also for Orange that this Keeper of the Light is perfect if they do want to stick to their normal style of play with the offensive trial lane. Rubik, Keeper of the Light, Darkseer. It's a scary amount of burst damage, and that's something which can cause Orange some problems in that safe lane. So they need to start building a strong trial lane of their own. Basically, I imagine they just pick up their support here. I'd be surprised if they pick up their carry now. It's because they're afraid of maybe the PL pick, so they want to pick the PL first. But I think having PL as well as Lone Druid, I mean, sure, you've got a lot of split push, but I think it's too much carry potential. You need some more sort of team fight, semi-carry type heroes. Whatever it may be. So I think more likely we see Orange pick up their other support, something like a Lina here, or whatever they want to combo with that Shadow Demon. They can't really run any junglers unless they want to go for an Enigma, but running an Enigma when your opponents may go offensive trialing is going to be very, very dangerous.
Yeah, if you run a jungler right now, you're basically forfeiting at least multiple lanes because your jungler is not going to be as active, as mobile, and you can't actually contribute as much early on. So we're not going to see a jungler for sure. And they're going to pick up a Luna, which is going to give LG Gaming a lot of information. At this point, I feel like if you want to go Phantom Lancer offensive trialing, you most likely will beat whatever trialing Orange Esports going to put up against you. And if they put Lone Druid against you, you'll be happy against that too because you could easily push his lane. I feel like LGD Gaming has the making of an insane laning stage. Darkseer is going to win his lane. Queen of Pain is going to at least even up on hers. And this offensive trialing, if they want to go PL, Rubik, and Keeper, I just don't see them losing that lane either.
Yeah, I mean, for Orange Esports, it's they've got to be worried about both options here. And Shadow Demon Luna is, I mean, you've got a decent trial in that, especially if you round it off with something like a Lina, but all the Keeper of Light has to do is hit them with 1-2 Illuminates, the 2 supports, and suddenly they're down to a half, maybe a third HP. Even if he just hits them with 1, they're sitting on 2/3 HP, and it's really hard for them to engage in when they're already low on HP. That's really where, despite having an incredibly strong Shadow Demon Luna trial lane, and you also that gets amplified by the fact you have the Luna Aura. Well, there's your Lycan pick. It's still a trial lane which is going to lose maybe to a Keeper of the Light long range Illuminate spam, and it's going to be that. It looks like we're seeing the Rubik, Keeper of the Light, Darkseer going offensive trial lane. Lycan goes to the safe lane, unless they're doing Lycan in maybe like a trial lane farming with the supports using pulls, stacking along the top lane. This is going to be tough to deal with for Orange. They will have Lone Druid up against the Lycan, which I think is slightly favored to the Lone Druid, but it's not going to be a heavily favored matchup.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I alluded to with Keeper being picked up, Lycan's always a possibility because Recall allows the rest of your team split push. So once they get to the mid-game, the game plan is going to be very clear. And of course, you've been talking about this Lina being picked up as well. We'll talk about the Shadow Demon and Lina combination as that's probably the highest damaging nuking pair that you could have on support, and that's going to be very impressive, even 40 minutes into late game, because Soul Catcher plus Laguna Blaze is no joke. But my question is, how will the two support on LG Gaming play? Are they going to be roaming very early on? These two are not exactly the best roamers. They could stack jungle and farm it that way, but and then you're allowing KYXY on his lone druid to get some EXP and farm, which you definitely don't want. So I'm not sure how they're going to be playing it, and do you have any guesses on the way, the playstyle of these two supports? Are they going to be roaming? Are they going to be farming? Are they going to be just staying there to make sure that KYXY is not getting any farm?
Well, I mean, I think if more than anything, maybe they look just to go offlane with the Darkseer. I mean, this is LGD International. For now, they're going to look to go 5-man bottom just to sort of start things off here. Maybe look to catch out Orange on the get-go. But being LGD in, I think generally it's the offensive trial now. I think they'll feel confident despite being up against a Shadow Demon Lina. And Luna, who's going to have the Luna Blessing, giving 14 bonus damage is not something to be messed with, but just Keeper of the Light's just so ridiculously powerful. One Illuminate gets him so low.
Yeah, make sure you leave XSplit
And
visible, that way you won't do that.
Wild LD appears.
Look, guys, there is some domestic violence going on here. LD just messed up overlays and he's blaming it on me, even though...
Hey, man, I sent that guy to, like, XSplit school. He should be, like, well-versed in this.
Well, you gotta send me there, too. Somebody pay for my... The BTS donations are paying for my tuitions to XSplit school. I'm kind of a dropout right now. But, sorry, you were saying, LD. I mean, Gods, what's going on?
I don't even know anymore.
Alright, good. Alright, good.
You can blame LD for that as well.
Yeah, we will. Alright.
Everything's on LD.
KYXY here. Looks like he's manning up on the mid lane, setting on the bear to lead the charge, lead the scouting bot. What a way to start with the best of 3.
Well, a couple here players seem to be disconnected. I think Orange Esports, they're starting a team house as well. That's the other interesting thing here. I'm not sure if they're actually set up there yet. I know they got their internet. I'm not sure if their computers set up there or if they're still playing from the Orange Cyber Cafe, but they're going to move into their team house soon and start playing all their matches from there. So a bit more privacy rather than being in a busy Cyber Cafe, and we'll have to see whether or not that's going to see some improvements in their play. But, well, this could be dangerous for Orange. Running right into this LGD and 5-man at bottom could be very, very painful. Darkseer, Iron Shell, Telekinesis in the level 1 engagement, of course. Well, Illuminate. How many times do I need to say it? This spell is freaking painful.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that once the bear scouts out a couple here, the entire team will back off. They just don't have the numbers, and they don't have... Well, they definitely have Shadow Demon Disruption into Lina, LSA, so they could engage like that. And Clap's not a bad level 1 spell either, but... On the other side, if LGD wants to commit for a fight, they don't have that lockdown ability to force a fight. They don't have like a Fissure or I guess a Shadow Demon Disruption or something like that. They could Telekinesis with Rubik, but the range of that is not too impressive. So probably going to see two teams run into each other and they'll back off.
Yeah, we'll have to. The key is, like you say, Spirit Bear can scout things out, and then as a result, hopefully Orange avoid what could be a really bad fight for them. But once we come to the lane states, we'll see Queen of Pain mid lane against the Brewmaster, which I think Brewmaster actually handles that lane pretty well. We've gone for the early Stout Shield, so he's not rushing a bottle, and I think this is a good decision here. He can just use some early claps to make sure he gets some CS, and the main thing is here that he can hold his own against Queen of Pain. If Queen of Pain looks to go up at you, drop a Shadow Strike and harass, you just harass right back, because that Stout Shield will work in your favor. And you could always have maybe some supports roaming. Maybe that's what Orange look to do here. Rather than look to keep their supports on top of Mushi, maybe they just tell Mushi, hey, look, back off, play it safe for a while we go get a quick kill on this Queen of Pain mid with the Disruption Lina stun. Yeah,
I do want to point out the G is actually kind of adjusting his skill or item build accordingly. Normally when you see Queen of Pain, you see less stat-oriented build, less regen-oriented build. You're going to rush for that quick bottle because you know you got to out-bottle crow the other side. This game, most likely he understands he's going to be laning up against a Lone Druid, and such getting more stats is actually fine because you know the early game you're not going to be Shadow Striking as much, if at all. He might just skip Shadow Strike because you're never going to actually walk up to the bear without taking at least 3 or 4 pot shots from the bear himself. So
you think he's actually going to be... I imagine Brewmaster will be mid. I don't think they'll send Lone Druid mid. I think Brewmaster's going mid with Lone Druid for the off lane.
Off lane? Yeah, that could be a possibility as well. I'm saying only that because he's so far at the mid lane. But you're right, yeah, you could definitely... I mean, against the Brewmaster mid, then maybe you do want to be Shadow Striking still, but Brewmaster's so good against most range hero. Clap has an insane range, and you could actually outpush most other range heroes easily with multiple claps. Jesus, really?
That's unfortunate. Well,
it's okay. We could make up for our pre-game talk. I gotta say, I really much enjoy the fact that I think in between game 1 and game 2, we just kind of left the stream on, and just talked about random stuff. I felt like that keeps viewers entertained a lot more than, playing a movie or playing some music and whatnot. But that's just me.
Yeah, the issue always comes when you have like 30 minutes, and it's like, well, I've got 30 minutes at downtime in between games. Luckily, there was like 5 minutes. Like the game 2 ended as this game was meant to start, so we didn't have that 30-minute gap. I didn't get time to go make myself some food. I'm sad. I'm hungry, man. It's like time for my cereal. It's 7 a.m.
It is 7 a.m. Yeah, the light is starting to come up here. But do shout out to just about everybody that's watching all over the world. I think we gave a big shout out to Australia earlier, as a lot of viewers from there. Shout out to Europeans as well as Southeast Asians. Shout out to them Pinoys for however many Pinoys that we have.
I don't know. I was a lot tuned in earlier on when we were doing the GEST Dota 1, but I believe some of them have tuned out. But hey, man, Pinoys love their Dota, so I think they'll be quite happy to watch LGD. And Mushi has a huge Filipino fan base. He's also got a cute Filipino girlfriend, but he's definitely doing well off as far as the Filipino fan base. So probably a few tuning in to watch him.
Picks or that didn't happen. We gotta share picks later on.
You have to ask Mushi for the good ones.
Okay, I'll talk to Mushi. As for anybody that's just tuning on to the stream, this is the GEST challenge. I am Luminous, and of course, joined by Gods. Thank you to LD for giving us our nice commentator overlays on top, so it doesn't just say commentator now. It actually says our name, so it looks pristine and good.
Everyone should know who we are regardless.
People keep asking. People keep asking. I'm like, there's the one guy that's making Dragon Ball Z reference, and there's one guy that sounds like the voice of God. Can't you guys just tell by the way that we're talking and the way we sound?
Yeah, and unfortunately, it hasn't worked out too well for us. I'm disappointed you're no longer using Purge's mic, because you definitely had like a good Purge twang going earlier on.
I see.
When you're using his mic.
I take that as an insult.
Man, Purge is like this deep, sexy, manly voice. Like I don't know.
I'm just jelly because I don't have the Purge voice.
I would love to have the Purge. Well, I'd love to have
too.
like a blend of like Purge voice with my voice with like AC's voice, and it'd be like this. That would be like the full package. Imagine if Purge and AC bred children.
I'm not gonna say anything to that. That sounds really, really horrible.
We're filling time with like casual chat in between games.
Hey,
you said we're making up for it now.
We could make casual chats about the game, or we could talk about peanut girlfriends and people breeding stuff. That's cool too. Speaking of which,
apparently there's a new changelog out. There's a bunch of people linking it.
there is a changelog out.
I didn't realize. Is 6.77C?
Are we getting trouble? Somebody check that out. Somebody check that out.
I think we're up to C. Tranquil Boots have a bunch of changes or some shit. Illuminate mana cost increased.
All right, let's do a patch log analysis.
Oh, dude, let's make this VOD. We can be the first ones like get it up on your YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, we're on top of this game. There's only like 4 lines. What the hell?
All right, so Tranquil Boots. This is a bunch of changes. Disabled speed reduce.
Okay.
Heal increase. They increase the heal.
Well, the cooldown increase as well.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Tranquil Boots. I've been telling Ice Frog he needs to nerf the hell out of this item, because it was an item designed for support heroes to help them out, but it's being abused by carry heroes to help them farm in neutrals, to help them farm in lanes. The whole current metagame where you can run a safe lane solo is because of how powerful Tranquil Boots are. This item like single-handedly changed the metagame.
So we'll do the patch lock analysis later. Tranquil Boot got hit pretty hard as the heal duration increased as well.
So it's easier to cancel. You have to back off, otherwise your opponent, I guess, can cancel it easier.
Yeah, so it isn't like a salve, well, a mini salve, if you will. So it's weaker slightly overall, but it seems like Orange has finally got all their players ready to go.
Are we still at time? Illuminate nerfed. That's, I guess, pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Actually, honestly, I might be the only person that thinks Illuminate is fair. Keeper is not fair because of Chakra Magic and Recall. Yeah. Or, well, Spare Form giving you a billion other spells. Blind is insane. Recall is game-breaking. Yeah. I feel like nerfing Illuminate scratches the surface of the problem. He's still going to get picked. He's still going to be powerful.
I mean, it just, I guess, slows down his ability. I mean, the mana cost thing seems very minimal.
No, it's relevant early on. Before he maxes Chakra Magic, it's quite relevant.
I mean, 10 mana though. Like, imagine like level 4. Like, you still have 2 points in chakra. An extra 10 mana cost isn't gonna make a big difference, I don't think. The AOE I think will make quite a lot of difference because I remember like always being on the edge and thinking, man, how did that clip me? That's bullshit. This spell. Like, I have dodged it. Well, we still got time. We can continue. Mushi disconnects again. This was kind of like the big two heroes. The Illuminate and the Spike Carapace, the two spells that like everyone hated.
Oh, what the Spike Carapace get changed? Duration reduced from 2.75 to 2.25. Cooldown increased from 14 to scaling cooldown down to 14. Nah.
Apparently no one can hear me in game. I'm gonna quickly fiddle with my audio.
Okay, this is a good time to fiddle with that.
It should be better now. I just quickly turned open mic off and on, so if you can't hear me, something's wrong. Well, you have to wait 2 minutes. You have to wait 2 minutes. Those of you guys on the live stream, wait 2 minutes.
Marksmanship bonus. Oh, actually, how do you feel about the Spike Carapace remove? I feel like it's, again, not getting to the central issue of the actual spell being imbalanced. But on the same note, it's one of those things that, how are you actually going to balance it? If you're just going to remove a portion of what it does,
I think
then it's not the same spell.
I remember I was talking about with like Purge, we had Hotbit and Hayoki here, and we're like talking about this here, and it's like the ridiculous thing is if you take away the damage reflect, it's still a ridiculously strong spell. You can theoretically stun 5 heroes for like 2.75 seconds in a team fight, and then on top of that, it reflects the damage. I mean, every now and then you reflect an Illuminate damage, you reflect like a Laguna Blade. It does a ton of damage. So even without the damage reflection, it's still a ridiculously good spell. I guess they decide they want to keep the damage reflection and decide to nerf the stun a bit, which is okay. The cooldown change is really nice because it means you're not able to spam it as much until you have it maxed out, so you can't really spam it early.
Well, here's the thing though, they do max it out anyways, so it's not exactly that big of a hit. And it's only gonna hit them early on for a bit. I actually like the fact that they're not removing the damage portion because I feel like it gives a little bit of it's a little bit different, right? Like it gives it more versatility. We see a lot of Kato players kind of get very annoyed when they are illuminating Nyx Assassin, and that's something that you still be able to continue doing. I still think it's imbalanced. Have you got your Finger of Death redirected back? That thing hurts.
Yeah. What about do you think Drow needs... Everyone has been complaining ever since Drow Ranger got put into pub games that this hero is retardedly imbalanced. I mean, I compared it to a Riki earlier. I don't think the hero is actually that good. It's been in the Dota 1 CM pool for about 2 or 3 months. It gets picked like second or third. Sometimes it gets banned in the second stage, but it's not really considered imbalanced. I'm just surprised that because of pub game whining that this hero has been nerfed. I just don't think it's that imbalanced.
Yeah, I think that's a discussion for another day as we're unpausing right there. But quick thing about Dro, she's not as powerful as you think. Yeah. Especially in a pro game environment. But for now, we are back in the game as, oh my goodness, KYXY got some free XP from a wolf.
Yeah, he'll be pretty happy about that one. Gets himself up to a nice early 20 XP. 20 XP. Taking a look at the XP graph, we see a massive lead going the way of Orange Esports right now.
About 80,000%.
Yeah, how will LGD.int recover from this one?
Pycat, no F given here. He's going to be good rushing for his quick Vlads, as all Lycan players do. It seems like it's going to be a defensive trialing up on top here. They are going to run into that offensive trialing that you're predicting. I have actually not seen a Darkseer trialing myself. How does it actually work? It seems like it's a little bit awkward.
It's a bit awkward, but they're not actually going full out with it. They leave Rubik bottom, and then now the supports, nope. 1437 says, no, we're not having this trialing at top. And Orange have done something surprising as well. They've sent Mushi to be the solo mid. So we see Mushi mid, LGD.int, they decide against the offensive tri lane. And well, this is good for Orange because it means they're Shadow Demon leaner. They'll probably grab a quick smoke and look to maybe go for a gank. Because right now they're not needed at all at top. This top lane's been abandoned. Darkseer's in the jungle. No. They want Brewmaster hit level 6 as fast as possible, which means the two supports will spend a bit of time pulling, maybe stacking, but they'll probably go for a smoke gank as soon as possible.
Yep, and Light Strike Array right after a Shadow Demon Disruption is going to be a good ganking tool against Queen of Pain. Looks like we're going to have another little bit of technical issue. This is going to be Brax dropping, so back to our drill discussion, or unless you feel like there's something a lot more relevant in this game going on so far.
No. Not well. So yeah, nothing much going on right now. I mean, some different lanes, but we can go back to patch discussion.
Yeah. So Drill Ranger Ord now does not work when there's a hero nearby.
Yeah. And what's the exact range of it?
What does the Aura even do? I never play Drow, so I just know that she hurts.
A percent plus a percent plus. Based on your agility, I think it is. It gives a percent bonus damage to like all ranged heroes on the map.
But you get the damage yourself, no matter what. So that doesn't go away. Your allies' damage go away.
I think your damage maybe also goes away. I'm not sure about that, but definitely your allies' damage will go away.
Okay.
But I'm curious. I mean, yeah. Draw Ranger is still not in CM mode, so like, who even cares about this change? I guess pub players care.
By the way, Timbersaw's in CMO. You think that hero is ever going to do anything?
Not for a while. I think it needs a few small... It's a cool little hero. I really like the concept, and I think it's like something unique, but it's just not quite strong enough in any aspect.
Oh, actually, we've been confusing it completely. Marksmanship is the ult. Her
Oh.
aura's, Trusha aura is just totally different.
Okay.
Shows you how much I play Dro, which, by the way, never.
It's a hero with a really bad concept. Like, you don't actually have any interesting skills. All you do is auto-attack, and then you have a silence. Like, you throw in silence to make the hero interesting, but the hero, like, as far as concept goes, is just boring. The only way to make it good is to make it, like, really strong, I feel.
Well, this is an insane buff, in my opinion. Heaven's Halberd, disarm no longer disabled by Manta style. I think this is huge. I always think that...
a nice item.
Yeah, I always think it's a very under-purchased item, especially against heroes like Void. Just a long-range way to disable him from Chronosphere. It's almost, against certain heroes, it's almost the same as getting a Beastmaster Roar on them. That's how I personally compare it from time to time. And if you compare it like that, that's pretty good. Well, you could buy a Beastmaster Roar. Now, obviously, it's a stretch, but...
Yeah, and, well, Living Armor got changed again. I feel like Treant's been getting buffed over and over again, and this is still, like, one of the most useless heroes in the game.
Don't say that! Don't say that.
I mean, it's really weird. Like, I mean, you have, like, 80 base damage or something ridiculous.
Yep, and he's not picked.
He's not picked. I don't know.
That hero...
He's a support hero. At the end of the day, he acts as either a support or kind of like a utility type hero. Maybe run him like as an offlaner, but what do you need as like a non-carry hero having 80 base damage for? I guess maybe it helps in the laning stage a bit.
I mean, you could give him every single creep kill in the lane, and he still can't carry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember my last game I played Treant. We ran him this we had this completely terrible lineup. I'm like, guys, I'm going to do the impossible. I had like a 12-minute Midas Radiance. I'm like, guys, I think we've got this game. And I suddenly look at the enemy team, and they've got like 5 useful heroes. And first team fight I come to, your ultimate doesn't do any damage anymore. Like,
yeah.
That's just, why? I love Treant ultimate doing damage because you can actually solo kill people. But without it doing damage, you can't solo kill people anymore.
It's actually like, useless.
Your ultimate,
you know that range?
Disable.
That range, tiny.
That's the problem. You either need the ultimate to be like instant cast with better range, or it needs to do damage again. Like, sure, it's not much damage, but it's definitely noticeable. It helps in the like early game and mid game ganks.
And hey, it's not even a true stun because they could activate items, they could cast spells, they could do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's not very friendly. But
for anybody that's joining the stream, no, this is not the We Hate Treant stream. This is the LGD International versus Orange for the GEST Challenge broadcasted by Beyond the Summit. I'm Luminous, he's Gods. We're just waiting for a whole bunch of technical difficulties. This is game 1 of a best of 3 series, and honestly, we want the games to go on, as you guys are wanting the games to go on as well, but unfortunately there are technical difficulties, so we are just talking about patch change. Recent patch change coming up.
I mean, it's a really small patch change. I guess we're mostly done with it. But, I think G's still just he's updating Steam. Actually, my computer. That's why I crashed out before during the draft. My computer's actually restarting, and I had a Steam update. So I think people may realize there's a Steam update, but it doesn't require you to restart Steam just now. Hopefully, you should be able to reconnect back in. But unfortunately, Chinese internet not known for having a particularly good connection to Steam, especially.
I will take this time to go somewhere. Check Skype.
Yeah, but well, for those guys just tuning in, as said, this is the LGD.int versus Orange Esports GST Challenge. For those of you guys who want to watch in Dota TV, you can get yourself a Dota TV ticket. They're $2.99. I was about to say $3.99. It's only $3, so $2.99. You get access not only to the GST Challenge, but also to the GEST Dota 2 competition, which will be basically the top teams in Southeast Asia at the end of the month. Also, the GMPGL qualifiers. There's some matches tomorrow, so you'll get to see the end of the GMPGL qualifier matches tomorrow, which features the Malaysian qualifier with Orange, MUFC, I believe Invasion also playing in that, and the GEST challenge, of course. It's going to be once every 2 months, but the first ticket, $3, it gets you 2 months of content. So you've got February as well as March. There's some replays already there you can check out. And of course, the GST challenge is probably the most exciting bit that you do get to watch with the ticket here. But unfortunately for now, we are seeing a bit of a pause coming out here as G does need to restart things off, and hopefully we'll be getting ourselves back into this game soon. Our patch analysis is done. That's what I should be doing. Make a VOD out of that, upload it to YouTube, beat everyone to the punch. I think I can hit Luminous coming back, but hopefully things get underway, guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in. As said, I'm Gods and he's Luminous, but right now we don't even have a Dota 2 game to cast, but we'll do our best to keep you entertained until then.
So, just to complain for complaining's sake, I don't know why my minimap has such big icons.
It's a Perch Gamers thing.
It's a Perch Gamer thing. Dude's got no map awareness, so he has to blow up that minimap, so...
It's not as bad as the people who have like a second, like, 82-inch screen with which they blow up the minimap on next to their main.
Oh, yeah, and still get ganked.
That's the thing, you can have that, but it's not going to help you.
If you don't look at it, right?
Yeah. It's, I don't know. I like my mini icons. I think they do really well. I don't like people who, like, I like being able to know what hero is what color. That's always what my first, like, 2 to 3 minutes of the game, I always try to figure out what hero is what color. So as soon as I see a dot go missing on the map, I don't have to check what hero it is. I just instantly know.
I'm so bad between, like, light brown and the other color that's on bot lane.
Yeah. Well, it used to be gray in Dota 1. I guess there was pink, gray, and then light blue, dark green, and brown. But the gray is very different in Dota 1 to Dota 2. That's the one color they've changed quite a bit. Although in Dota 1 it was too similar to the light blue, I guess. But shout out to all the Purge Gamer fans in the chat. Well, I guess most of them are asleep because it's 7 in the morning in the US. But
Flame Purge Gamer fans come out.
Hey man, I saw a lot of Purge Gamers in the chat.
Can people stop putting penises in the chat? I do appreciate it. Mods will ban you. Cue mods banning, please.
I'm watching this there. I'm not going to click it myself. I'm not going to do it. Purge is actually in Dallas. He went to MLG. He's a giant slack. He works. He has his like 15-hour weeks. I need to get on his schedule.
We would never get on his schedule. What the hell are you talking about?
15-hour work week. That's why I do it like.
We have 15-hour work days.
I know. I went wrong somewhere when I came into esports. I don't know what. I somehow just. I don't know.
For those of you guys that see Gods and LD broadcasting 8 hours a day, that's like half the work. Because before the broadcast and after the broadcast, there's so much like behind the scene work. So if you appreciate those broadcasters, appreciate them more because they do a lot of work behind the scene as well.
The worst was Armageddon tournament because I had 4 days of like 12-hour broadcast. And I wasn't doing a single VOD. For one thing, the event was sponsored by a nightclub. So, hey, we're going to nightclubs after casting. And then after the event on Monday, or like it was actually Tuesday when I got back, I'm saying like, wait, I have 4 days of VODs to do. This is going to take me a lot of time. I do not like this. I need a peon to work for me. People who are willing to be my like peon slave, send me messages. You can do a bunch of data entry and all kinds of fun work.
So far we have BTS have asked for 2 very important things. We have asked for
slave labor,
and Lena sets. So
yes.
Send them to Luminous Inverse. Well, that's not my email. Yeah, send them to Luminous, Gods, and LD.
Yeah.
We will cast for Lena sets.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Okay, LD won't cast for Lena sets, but we will.
Wow. I'm about to say LD doesn't play support.
Yeah, he's like, what's the ward? I bet LD don't even know that wards cost 150 right now.
Yeah.
These flames. It's not like he's next to us or anything.
But yeah, any interested slave labor, preferably like cute Asian girl, less than 120 pounds. Send emails to BTS at beyondthesummit.tv.
BTS, we are here for production quality and professional casting.
That's what we do best.
Thank you for your donations.
Oh no, I tapped back in. I thought I saw something on pausing, but no, it's just it looks like they're playing some word games in the chat.
It's our minds unpausing right now because this game.
Are they playing I Spy? Oh no, I see them playing rock paper scissors. We should play man, you can play I Spy in the Dota 2 map. How good would that be? Like find something. It's like when you're traveling in the car as like a 7-year-old kid, and like
I spy with my little eyes.
Yeah, we should do that. Well, we can obviously include the players, but there's a bunch of cool stuff you could do I Spy with.
I somehow find that a little bit racist, but that's just me. That's because I'm Chinese.
Wasn't it a Western game? Like, did it start off as like a game that Asians played?
I don't know. I just threw that out there because it fit.
Okay. I thought it was just a little eyes because like you're a kid.
Yeah, I think it's meant to be that, but
yeah.
Oh, you know when those bad jokes come out, it's getting pretty late.
Yeah, it is. It sure is. I guess we got along. Apparently, not apparently. I do need to give a big thanks to Dota Talk because they're the ones actually hosting this event. I've foolishly not sent you a Dota Talk logo to include on the stream, so maybe I can like subtly send you that, and you can like subtly put it onto the scene right now without anyone in the chat noticing.
All right, all 5,715 of you, just close your eyes for 5 seconds. Maybe.
Yeah, well, maybe
Don't
a
look.
bit more than
Don't
5
look.
seconds. Wait, we'll say when. We'll say when.
Yeah, don't do it right now.
All right.
Actually, this will be a good time for me to add the brackets as well, as we are. Yeah. You see, our previous matchup, MUFC has Wendon and Vichy Gaming in the losers. Cool.
Yeah, Vici Gaming will be for the schedule tomorrow. It's the loser bracket match first, so we'll have Vici Gaming up against the loser of this match at 7 p.m. again, and then after that we'll have the next best of 3, which we schedule at 9:30 p.m. Obviously, if we have a long 3 games, it's probably going to go a bit more than 2.5 hours. But if you have a normal, I think normal Link's best of 3 actually goes about 2.5 hours if you have standard sort of 30 to 40-minute games. But 2-game series, it may be starting. There's a slight chance it starts earlier than that, but that is the scheduled time for it to start at. That's what the teams have been told to be ready by.
Somebody's asking whether we could open our eyes now. Nope, you may not.
Oh, someone's asking for a repeat of the changelog discussion, but we've already done that.
You could catch it on the VODs.
Yeah, it was well, I mean, it's not a very big impressive changelog, but it's definitely I think the main big thing is Tranquil Boots, because I honestly like a nerf or a change to Carapace and Illumina isn't going to change the metagame, but Tranquil Boots, I honestly believe single-handedly changed the metagame and how Dota is played. I'm sure a lot of I think a lot of pros will agree. Oh yeah. Think about how like all these teams who run like a safe lane farmer, like when they do a Luna in a 1v1 matchup against someone, or they do LGD.int, they run like Luna or Lone Druid in a 1v1 matchup in the safe lane all the time, and that they couldn't do that if it wasn't for Tranquil Boots.
Yep. Well, I guess
if Tranquil Boots wasn't in the game, you'd be so much more limited in some of the lanes you could do. Even stuff like Anti-Mage, sending Anti-Mage 1v1 against a Darkseer. He needs to get those Tranquil Boots up. He wins that lane, he crushes that lane if he can get Tranquil Boots.
I feel like it doesn't. Maybe I won't go as far as saying it changes the metagame completely as we see G finally connecting. I feel like it limits a lot of lanes you could do. You can't out-attrition somebody like the Darkseer example, so it definitely does limit a lot of heroes being played. But it seems like we're finally gonna get some Dota back. Maybe. All right, we're unpausing.
Well, I feel like I don't really remember what we're watching anymore, so we maybe quickly re-go through our lanes. LGD International up against Orange Esports. LGD.int, well, going slightly different here. They're not going for an offensive try. They've got Misery on the Rubik at bottom lane, Pycat playing the Lycan, and 1437 on the support keeper line. Those 3 at bottom. We've got the solo mid Queen and Pain being played by G. And then generally the off-lane player Brax, he's actually spending the early game in the jungle on Darkseer. Yep,
and I like this because once he gets up to a level 3 or maybe even level 5, his Iron Shadows gets a lot more impressive, and once you throw 2 of them against the Brewmaster, even he's going to have a little bit of trouble laning against that. We do see the Orange Esport, or Orange Neo Sport, it's going to be jungling up as well. They don't have the Smoke of the Seat just yet, which they kind of want to pick one up to set up a gank. Looks like Mushi going to eat a little bit of Shadow Strike, harass on the mid lane. Who do you actually think wins this lane between Luna and Queen of Pain mid?
I think they can. Well, Queen of Pain has a really strong early game build. Goes straight for Null Talisman. Doesn't even go straight for the bottle. But I think Queen of Pain has a slight edge here. But Mushi is just one of the best players mechanically in the mid lane, and that's when you're up against. I mean, G, not too shabby himself, but I just think Mushi has some really strong mechanics, so he can maybe break even here. But I think normally you'd see Queen of Pain winning this matchup.
Yep, the range extra is just a lot more impressive, and the beams, you know, it's a nice harassing method, but nothing like a Shadow Strike, which does 200 damage right at level 1 throughout the full duration. It's pretty insane, pretty insane. Here we go, there's that gank coming right in, but they're going to run right into an Observe War, so G, he knows it's going to be coming. He has Blink in reserve in about a couple seconds, so he should be absolutely fine. And actually 2 points in that Shadow Strike, so really laying down the harass against Mushi.
Good.
Really, and I mean, the problem is if he wants to, he's going to want to get more points in the Scream. That means he's going to be on this level 1 Blink for even longer, generally speaking. And that level 1 Blink has a really short range and a really long cooldown, so it's really hard to stay on that. Mushi now has his bottle. He's going to grab this early Illusion Rune. I think the support's rotating, not so much looking for a kill, but just looking to protect that rune at the same time.
Brax doing a lot of block, trying to delay the Screw Wave, being pulled by the bear for a long as he can. And he's going to be going back to jungle, or at least waiting for the respawn in jungle. There's a Soul Ring being picked up, and that should be enough for him to actually go back to lane. Maybe he's actually going to eat up one more wave in the jungle. Also an indication of this level 2 points into that Shadow Strike. I want to say that G's going to stay on this lane for a lot longer, because he knows he actually can roam off the lane and gank. Because if he does so, Luna with her Lunar Blessing will easily push down the tower. Yeah. So she basically is forced to stay in the lane. And when you're forced to stay in the lane, Shadow Strike's not actually a bad spell to have.
No, it's definitely, I mean, for harassing the Luna out of lane, it's slightly better there, I think, than having that Scream. You're unlikely to be able to get in close for lots of Screams, because getting in Scream range means Luna can attack you, and Luna hits hard. That's what we're seeing whenever there's harass. But G actually going for a first spot at mid lane. Mushi in trouble here. One more right click needed. It's going to bottle up. Just managed to stay alive there. Mushi almost gets outplayed by G at the mid lane.
Yeah, G's not going to get, of course, a first blood goal, but sending G back, or sending Mushi back for, you know, at least 20 to 25 seconds, that's a huge win. And obviously, of course, G could just keep on bottle curling, so you can see him doing just that right now. So I feel like G just won the lane with that one maneuver.
Yeah, as Darks here is still in the jungle, so he doesn't decide to go top, even with the supports not really being that aggressive. I think the big thing here for LGD here, they just want to get these fast core pushing items. Darksy wants a fast mech, and they want to get the fast Vlads on Pycat. And once they get those two up, they want to just push down every single outer tower. That's kind of how they play this Lycan draft. And I think they decide that Darkseer farms a lot faster in this jungle. Sure, they can pressure the Brewmaster, but it's better for him just to get that safe, secure farm in his own jungle.
Yeah, and also because their solo mid is so robust from against ganks. As I say that though, it looks like G's gonna get LSA. It's gonna be perfectly chained. Yes, it will. Luna Bean's gonna come after, and there's a first blood. There was a war seeing the Invis rune being picked up, and maybe because he realized that Lina was nowhere near, he could be safe. But Lina, of course, went for the very, very safe path, and he's even gonna drop a Salve for Mushi, so he's gonna be absolutely fine with the full battle as well as full HP from the Salve.
Yeah, so Mushi now, despite having to be sent back to base once, he's looking to be in a good position at mid lane. You've got a higher free farm at top lane. He's just either goes Arcane Boots, then into the Blink, or just straight into the Blink, depending if he's worried. Well, depending if Orange decide, hey, their big 5-man push is coming around the sort of 8 to 15 minute mark. Do they want a higher to come and defend? Then he goes Blink Dagger. Nope, he's gone Arcane first. I think this is a safer, more safer way to play this, and he can get that Blink Dagger still up by about the 9-minute mark with this free farm lane. Yeah,
I really like the Blink Dagger, just not this early. Blink Dagger is going to be really nice against a split push style of LGD, which they will eventually be playing. But the problem with that is, you're going to blink on a Lycan, he's going to say low and ultimate. You're going to blink on G, and he's going to say low and blink out. So it's not really for catching people off as you expect a Blink Dagger usually would do. So you don't need to actually get it that early. Getting the mana and letting your teammates to refill their mana in between ganks and whatnot is actually very, very helpful.
Yep, as we check out Misery at bottom lane, really looking to sort of force the issue here. They want to try keep KYXY out of XP range as much as possible. Actually, bring down the Spirit Bear. Telekinesis back in, needs to get a bit more damage here. Illuminate. Burst it down, and KYXY cops the Illuminate as well, so he gets down to about half HP. TP's coming in. Orange want to fight this. Is actually Brewmaster. Clap as well as an ultimate is there if they want to use it. Mushi's rotated down bottom as well. He's got a haste room. Pycat could be in trouble. He's not level 6 yet, and Mushi is. Eclipse, dead Pycat. 3-0 now in favor of Orange. What a great rotation from them.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of pause time in between our game beginning and now. And one of the biggest stats that I want to just reiterate is that according to CyberMat, there's a lot of scrimming between these two teams, and Orange Esports is like 5-1 against LGD.int, despite a lot of us thinking LGD.int is perhaps a stronger team. As I say that though, Brax gets a solo kill up top against Alina. That's something that you don't expect to happen, but that definitely can happen. As Darkseer, one of the more impressive damaging hero early on with Iron Shell maxed.
Yeah, and once Darkseer gets on you with that Iron Shell, it's really hard to get him off. I mean, sure, you can try and stun him, but if he surges at the right time, if he sidesteps you, well, you're in all sorts of trouble. Lina does have boots, actually, so could have maybe tried to use those to get out of there, but it wasn't going to be the case here. Brax will get found up, but this Brewmaster should look to try and steal some of these neutrals. He's got a clap, but he's not going to need it. He will take the Centaur. So for now, well, Orange Esports, they just need to settle down. They gave up a Lina kill, but that's really a small victory for LGD again. The kills at bottom lane from Mushi and Ahio is really a big tipping point in Orange's favor here in the early game.
And again, Luna leaving the lane, not going to mean too much, as, well, Queen of Pain going to go on right now on Mushi. Mushi's going to drop a beam, but here comes Misery. They're going to pull him back. Sonic Wave on top, as well as Illuminate. Boy, they wanted him dead, and that was a very, very important kill for G to pick up, too. Make sure the mid lane that's not too much dominated. Again, one thing I want to point out as handing the mic back to Gods is that when Mushi rotates off the lane, Queen of Pain can't punish him too much. He doesn't have that pushing power. But when G rotates off the lane, he's going to get his tower pushed down quite a bit. So it's just a disparity of Luna's blessing. It's actually very, very insane. That's why we see Luna mid pretty frequently, actually.
Yeah, I think S4, one of the players in Europe who's been doing quite a bit with no Tidehunter. As we will see actually a bit of aggression coming out. G looking to do some dewarding here. There's a Sentry Ward on the Radiant side, so they immediately deward this Observer Ward, which was a fresh one as well. So nice little pick off there coming out from LGD International, maintaining this map control. And well, Mushi, I mean, despite rotating bottom, getting that kill earlier on, he's looking suddenly a bit poor, a bit underfarmed. He hasn't even managed to finish off his trades here. Just seeing with Bottle, Wand, all these sort of cheaper items. This is the problem, not giving him that safe lane.
Yep, also Brax just leading in terms of farm chart. Now obviously those 72 CS, a lot of those are neutral and not thus worth as much. And it's going to actually go into a Vitality booster. This is something I haven't seen in a long time. Generally when you see a farm Darkseer nowadays, you go for mech, you go for pipe, you go for an item that helps the team a bit. It's going to be a Vanguard, I assume, or maybe just a naked Vitality booster. Why is he so worried about the HP? I gotta say, we have to go back to Shadow Demon and Lina. Again, in my opinion, the two highest supporting duo in terms of damage output. Soul Catcher, Disruption, LSA into Laguna. Just absolutely insane. You cannot get burst down as the team's AoE specialist without casting your spells. And that's exactly what he's worried about.
Yeah, I think it's a decent pick up here. And it just shows that LGD, they're not actually looking to do what... I mean, I've been proven wrong. They're not going for that big sort of group up and push just yet. They're going to maybe either wait it out or at least decide that this isn't the style of play they have to play. Pycat isn't rushing his Vlads. He's gone for some treads first, so he'll probably look to pick up the Vlads afterwards. But he decides going straight for he's got
medallion,
a medallion as well. Yeah.
So
the Vlads is coming much later on.
I actually like this. I actually gonna say they might not actually group up. I feel like this is still a very split pushing. Maybe you don't group up against this particular lineup, but especially with the Panda, because grouping up against the Panda is not exactly the best choice. But I love the fact that when they're splitting up, this medallion is gonna allow him to sneak into that ancient jungle or ancient camp of the Dire and take it. This is obviously after taking the tier 1 tower. And if he has enough time, which he might if a big team fight breaks out up top, he could just sneak in the Roche pit with that medallion and start working on that Roshan. So I love this pickup. We saw it on game 3 against IG, and that's exactly what he did in that game as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree that this is not a game that you necessarily want to blink up and push. And they basically at this point accepted the fact that Brewmaster is... They should know that his blink is coming up any second, essentially. Because it's a case where he's been left to free farm, he's rotated once bottom, actually got himself a kill. So at 9 minutes in, they're probably expecting that blink dagger. They're expecting him to have at least about 1.5k gold now. So with that danger and threat coming up, LGD don't want to push, and he's still only just level 8. Maybe they try to get some out of some tier 1 towers before he hits that level 11 mark, but for the time being, I think they're a bit worried about his TP in with a Blink Dagger causing some issues. Yeah,
you just can't rush it. I mean, he doesn't show a Blink right now, but you don't want that first push for him to have that momentary surprise, blinks in, and suddenly wipes you, and suddenly you're so far behind. So, yeah, I think playing it slow and playing it safe is fine. I think it's a little bit too premature to talk about late game implications, but having ability to go multiple Scythe of Ice on the Radiant automatically means you have a pretty decent late game.
Yeah, and for the Dire team, this is a Lone Druid who isn't going to be looking all that farmed. He's playing in that offlane, and we haven't seen offlane Lone Druids have all that much success as of late. It's generally been the sort of the free farming Lone Druids who've managed to sort of take their team to victory. But right now, KYXY, we'll maybe have to see him given some more space to farm. Luna maybe look for more of a more tanky survivor. Go for the drums, go for the BKB, and give some space for KYXY to catch up.
Queen of Pain looking to move a gank on the top lane here. You can see the only reason that he was able to move off the lane is that, hey, Keeper of Light is on the mid lane, blasting that Queen Wave, preventing Mushi from pushing in. Looks like these two heroes are going to run into each other in the river. Speaking of which, Luna does have the Eclipse cooldown from the previous engagement. On the bot lane here, LGD also putting a little bit of pressure. At this point, they're not caring too much about giving Lone Druid EXP. He's kind of pretty level at this point for off lane. There's a Blink Dagger being picked up, and there's a tier 1 tower being attempted. Let's see if Lone Druid can get this tonight. It would be pretty big if he does get it. There's a Glyph being used, and teleportation comes in. Multiple TP coming. Pycat's going to get the last on the tower, and looks like Misery is going to be the food. So Queen of Pain comes in there as well. There's a clap. They're going to get Misery. Misery trying to survive as long as possible. Ultimate being used right now. Who are they going to focus? It's going to be on GG. Could easily blink back out. I feel like this ultimate perhaps not going to be the best, as it's not going to get them too much. In fact, they're going to have to go back now. Oh,
well, the big problem for Queen of Pain is Queen of Pain still just got a level 1 blink. Manages to get out Surge as well. Surge will help keep the Queen of Pain alive. Illuminate once again goes flying in, and Brax, he's just chasing so deep here. It was, end of the day, a 1-for-1 trade. That was somewhat underwhelming for a team fight, but both teams just proven to be so tanky and hard to kill. As the two supports, the Shadow Demon as well as the Rubik, both going down, and neither team, well, especially Orange, they had TPs coming in, they still lost their tower, they didn't get the deny off. Lycan and Pycat picked that one up, so he now starts working on his Vlads, and that's a good fight for LGD, and they'll be really happy with how that went down.
Yeah, tower went down, the Brewmaster ultimate was used, they didn't lose too many heroes. Queen of Pain should have died if there was any entangle, especially with that level 1 blink. Also, there was no damage done to that tier 1 tower on the mid lane. Again, I keep stressing about this, the ability of Lunar Blessing to actually push down towers. LGD's just been on top of it. Of course, Rubik teleported back to mid lane immediately after his death, and he was able to get a lot of EXP, as well as defending the tower. Back in the bottom here, Lycanthrope, top lane, got picked off. I did not expect that to happen at all.
Blink, it looks like a Blink clap set up the Lina stun, and Lycan ultimate, having his ultimate still on cooldown meant Lina could get in there for a stun once the clap slow was there to initiate things, but I didn't see that coming either. I think Pycat thought it was just a solo Brewmaster up there that he was farming against, but Lina came in, helps ensure that kill. So a nice movement from around the map from Extinct. Extinct is one of those support players who so often is just in the right place at the right time and finds these kills for his team. He's just such a clever player.
Yep. And when you're playing under gear, under farm hero, you have to make it up in terms of being in the right place at the right time, which Extinct and a lot of other pro support players, doing just that. LGDG on the mid lane here getting a little bit harassed. I wonder what item he's going to be going for. We've been seeing a lot of different Queen of Pain items. We've seen the Scythe Rush earlier today. We always see the BKB Rush. Of course, it could be something a little bit different as well. Queen of Pain a lot more versatile in terms of item purchase than most other hero. Another solo kill up top. This one is on the Keeper of Light. Blink Dagger doing a lot more work than I expected. I can't believe he's getting so many kills.
Especially that one. That one was a solo kill. The previous one had some involvement from the Lina, but that should not be happening for this Brewmaster. And now he gets level 11 as a result. Having level 11 this fast, sure, LGD just got themselves another out of town, but they're basically, this next team fight is going to go heavily in Orange's favor. If Brewmaster get him with a big Blink Clap ultimate, he'll bring down these supports incredibly fast. And even heroes like Darkseer, Queen of Pain, if they're not careful with their position, can get brought down very fast. Queen of Pain still seeing level 8, and the reason this is a problem is we're still looking at just level 1 Blink. 12-second cooldown, and a 700 range does not really cut it right now.
They're going to try to go on KYXY. He gets lifted, he gets tossed back, but he's so tanky. Not after the Sonic Wave ultimate. Can they bring him down? The poison ticks will be enough. I was going to say that mid-push, despite the tower going down for the Dire team, the Lone Druid on the bot lane got a lot of free farm, but good rotation from LGD, from taking away all that gold that he basically earned from those last hits he got on the bot lane. Meanwhile, on top here, LGD, Brax, as well as 1437, looking to get a little bit of pressure, but again, they gotta respect that Blink Dagger on the Panda, as he is still farming. Like, I think there's a certain point where you say Brewmaster shouldn't be looking to actively farm anymore, because I don't think he uses gold that well.
He's not going to benefit a lot from the gold or the XP when he's already hit level 11, so it's still a long way before we see his next milestone, which is going to be that level 3 ultimate. Lone Druid could benefit so much more from this, so even Mushi, send one of those two heroes to the top lane seems like a better way to play this. The problem is, they still need the support up there. They could be easily ganked by, or burst down by Darkseer, Keeper of the Light. They can't farm in these sort of 1v1 matchups too easily, and LGD.int, they're also focusing their efforts up top now, the last remaining outer tier 1 tower, so it looks like they want to try and bring it down.
Yeah, how strange to see that they're actually pushing the lane that Brewmaster's in. Generally, you kind of want to avoid him, especially when that had Blink. But look at how much nuking, and the Wolves is going to get a kill on Extinct. No, nice LSA. He's going to survive just a little bit longer. The Wolf is basically going to hunt him down. A couple more right clicks is going to do the job, but that's going to give him a lot of time for his teammates to teleport, and she finally does die. But here we go. Hannah trapping Pycat, and he does got the double damage, but he's completely trapped. Look at the choke point. He's going to try to TP out, and he's going to make it out alive. What a clownly gank on both sides. One being trapped. He said, alright, I'll just TP out. Meanwhile, Brax is going to search himself back out, and he should be fine there as well.
Yeah, really clowny gank indeed. The wolf block, I mean, pays off there. Lone Druid was searching with the bear, trying to maybe get an entangle off it. There was no chance for it. And so Orange, well, they had the Brewmaster level 2 ultimate, but he didn't have mana. He used it all up and claps and other things and just couldn't find an opening to get it off. And LGD.int, they're just really smart with the way they fight. They know they can't really have a big team fight, so the way they do it, they get lots of long-range burst damage. They throw an Illuminate, they throw Iron Shell Vacuum, and then they don't fully engage. They leave basically Pycat to do the cleanup and finish everyone off. It's not really a team fight when Pycat's the only one really running in, and it's not even really running in. He's just sending his Wolves in to finish off Lina, or even just harass the Brewmaster, force him to retreat, because he was getting really low himself as well.
Teleport up to the top lane here as we see immediate smoke being popped. They're going to bypass this Observer War and looks to engage. Luna does have that teleport score, no drum being finished, so she's going to join the fight very soon as well. It looks like they're going to run into a Lycanthrope. That's one of the heroes that they cannot kill. Smoke gets the spell. There's going to be a disruption. LSA is going to follow through. Let's see how much damage can they do. Where's the Laguna? Bam! 100 to 0 instantly. Like I said, the highest damaging support duo in this game, perhaps. It looks like Lone Druid.
Even with an ultimate there, he wasn't surviving that one, so needs to be careful. KYXY top lane will get brought down now as well, so unfortunately for Orange Esports, they get a bit of a victory, but then they immediately throw it away on a hero who needs farm. Lone Druid, level 9 with very little gold, very little item progression right now.
Looks like 1437 is going to try to defend this tower. Big Illuminate is going to clear up a lot of creep waste. But Illusion is still doing work. Meanwhile, top lane here, Blink Clap against Misery. Misery is going to be dead. The ultimate just used for that support. Not sure if it's worth it. They got to pick off a couple more. Brax is actually chasing away G. Oh no, they're on the same team, duh. It looks like the teleportation gets canceled here by a couple of right clicks. Mushi, the damage output, nice fake cancel on Eclipse, forcing a blink on G. There's a Cyclone. Well, is he going to be fine here? Blink vacuum, huge vacuum, but Brax is going to go down to the Illuminate. Here comes a huge Eclipse. G in trouble as well. She's going to blink out with the level 3 blink very soon. As I say that though, she's taking a lot of damage. She's going to get chased by that Blink Dagger, which is cooling down right about now. There's a Blink Clap. Queen of Praying goes down as Brewmaster 5-0-3. Wow.
That was really nice from him too. He got that Cyclone off on the Darkseer just as he surged, and it dispels the Surge. He can just drop Darkseer right away, and Surge is gone, and they managed to bring him down. Mushi unfortunately takes a fall here, but at this point Mushi's not really playing that sort of hard carry role, it feels like. Although someone's going to have to do DPS the way this game goes. It's all going the way of Ohio, and he's not going to scale well into the ultra late game, although the Radiant team, they've only got a Lycan of their own, so I guess he's the hero. If you're worried about the game ending early, which you should be worried about when you've got Pycat on Lycan and this strong pushing lineup, this strong team fight with a Darkseer, Keeper of the Light, then you want Brewmaster to be hitting all these levels. He's going to have an Aghanim Scepter in about 1700 gold. He's going to be looking at a level 16 in the next maybe 5 minutes, and that's a really scary high-level Brewmaster. Yeah, what Brewmaster is allowing Orange to do right now is basically 5-5v4. Lone Druid has not participated in these team fights. Obviously, he got picked off in the beginning of that team fight and was able to TP back on the bot lane. And not only push the lane a little bit to put a pressure on the Radiant, but get a lot of last hit as a result of that as well. Nice Iron Shot and Viz Wolves harassing the hell out of KYXY, but he should be fine. But for now, I feel like I like positioning of Orange. They're up by a couple of kills. They are down by quite a bit of gold, though. That is a huge concern. Speaking of which, where's the teamfight item coming out of the Radiant? They don't have a mech being finished. And why the hell is there some hugely epic music? I don't know. Is that on your side? You're hearing, is it the background noise? We're actually going to see a gank here at bottom lane. It looks like they're going to try to bring down Lone Druid. And once again, KYXY being ganked up, needed defensive disruption from that. He gets it just in time. Pycat comes in with the ultimate. Is it going to be enough? And Darkseer, what a wall of replica, but it's not really finishing anyone off. They need the cleanup from Pycat, but Pycat, he's already on the retreat, and Mushi is chasing. Mushi wants more blood. He's got a haste rune. Queen of Pain's brought down the Lina, but Mushi now still on the chase. Finds the Keeper of the Light, wants to bring down 1437. Going to need another Lucent Beam, but Mushi quickly realizing he can't chase any further. His supports have already been dropped, and with Lina and Shadow Demon on the side here, Orange just don't have the lockdown really to take this fight. They need that Brewmaster to come in with an ultimate, but he doesn't want to use it anymore. Oh, they want to keep on chasing. They want to keep on going. LGD in. They feel like they've got this. It's going to be a Brewmaster Ultimate, but it seems like it's too little too late. They brought down 3 already, and Orange Esports are trying to turn this around. Brewmaster with a double kill. He's taking out 2. Can he get any more? Darkseid thrown up in the air. Is there going to be an Entangle? Lone Druid needs one. Entangle onto Brax. Need a Boulder Toss to follow things up here. Brax, he gets brought down by the Laguna Blade coming out of Extinct. What a play. They're going to move on to Queen of Pain. I imagine Queen of Pain should be okay here. Are we looking at a blink out? Yes, there's a blink out just in time. G escapes, and LGD International, they take some heavy losses once again at the hands of this Brewmaster.
That Brewmaster ultimate was so impressively micro. Boulder Bash as well as Cyclone being used every time it came off cooldown. And just basically truly show off the power of this hero. Insanely well played. And because of that, they got multiple kills on these carry heroes in Orange Esport. They're down by gold, but they're starting to chip away at that lead. Very, very nicely done. I still have to say, I just got trolled by Ice Frog or Val because there was like a 40-second 2-step to hell something in my game. I have no idea why it's there, but
it's like soundtrack to this.
Right, it made that team fight hella epic.
It's the soundtrack to this Brewmaster, I guess. I don't know what it is, but I've got to say, I just had a really big laugh, chuckle moment. I saw somebody in chat say, "Wow, Brewmaster just pushed R. What a play!" Sarcastically, I realized you do realize there's a lot more to pushing R as a Brewmaster.
Yeah, I mean R, Cycle, Tab, Cycle, and Boulder Bash.
Yeah.
Dispel.
The guy was being sarcastic. I think the joke's on him right now. Yeah. This Brewmaster play, he's 7-0-4 right now. At this point, I mean, he's so high level that his just physical damage is quite hefty, but he's getting Cyclones off on key heroes. He threw the Darkster up in the air, brought down Darkseid, and then they threw the Queen of Pain up in the air. It was just really great micro coming out of a high-risk Brewmaster.
But look at the way that LGD is playing right now. Despite losing a team fight, they're all up in Orange's grill because they know that Brewmaster's ultimate is going to be down for a while. So they want to put up some pressure. There's going to be a TP up on top lane as G has that Scythe of Ice finish. I felt like G's been shut down quite a bit, but look at how well he's been playing. He's got 9 kills, and he's going to get more here. That's going to be his 10th kill, showing off that new shiny Scythe of Ice. And knowing that the Scythe of Ice is available, that Brewmaster can't be as confident.
Yeah, this gets a lot harder for this Brewmaster, like you say. He can't just be. He almost has to consider just blinking and ulting. So you can't always sneak in that clap unless you know that Scythe is on cooldown. You may just have to go straight into a blink Primal Split, but boy, is this Primal Split going to be the key spell in all the next team fights. Basically, the next 10-15 minutes, this Primal Split is the main source of lockdown of DPS for this Orange Esports side. He's going to have an Aghanim Scepter as well. He's level 15 now. And this is going to jump from a level 2 ultimate to essentially a level 4 ultimate once he has the Ags in level 16 in just a couple of minutes. So it's a huge jump in Orange's sort of damage output.
Right, and damage is definitely a concern at this point. As you can see, this Darkster, again, very, very interesting choice of set of items. He's went for Vid Booster and then Plate Mail. Again, these upgrade to Shiva's Guard if that's the item he's going for, but that's an item you generally don't see Darkseer until this is like the 2nd or even 3rd choice at times. I wonder why he's going for Plate Mail. Maybe he's just going for the extra tankiness. I still think that if you're going to tank up, you gotta respect the magical damage. I'm gonna have a chat with Brax and ask him later on why exactly this particular set of items. It's not a mech, it's not a pipe, which is a common item, but we'll talk about that later. As Queen of Pain blinks in, no Scythe just yet. There's a Scythe here on Extinct. Extinct's gonna get brought down. Panda, no blinking just yet. Has that ultimate, don't want to use it right now. And they're gonna just, there's a blink in right now. Huge Eclipse from the Luna. They're gonna go for Brax. Brax very tanky, but not tanky enough. And the chase goes on. There's a Cyclone being, again, if you're using every single spell on your Brewmaster, that hero is almost unbeatable in team fight. Misery can pick one hero up, but again, he's not going to make it out alive. There's the Windwalk being used there as well. Finally, the Panda ultimate is done, and GSC Soul Survivor as like it not there in the fight.
And the good news is in this fight, Mushi actually started getting some kills. He started surviving a team fight, because now, for Orange Esports, Brewmaster has reached his peak. He's got level 16. He's 150 away from his Ag Scepter. They don't want him getting any more farm. Sure, if he gets farm, he can get something like a Vlad's, get some more additional auras for the team. Vlad's probably the next item of choice for him. Maybe even something like a Shiva's Guard. But uh-oh, Mushi, he's the one who needs to get more farm. He's going to get ganked maybe again at top lane. It's Queen of Pain coming in, looking for a kill here. There's a Sonic Wave. Can he do enough damage here? Mushi's so low. He could have got that, I think.
I think so. Maybe he was respecting the. Well, I mean, she does have a drums as well as an ogre club, so
it would have been close.
Yeah, it would have been fairly close, and you don't want that level 2 ultimate being whiffed right there. I found it a little bit questionable that he didn't disrupt the Luna, but it worked out just fine. I'm talking about Net's play. It ended up actually being the correct play there. But for now, Brax just pushing every single wave. Still has that 2k go in the bank. Again, I'm not sure what item he's going to be going for next. No Hood against Laguna Blade.
Yeah, no hood. I mean, Soul Catcher as well going to amplify all that magic damage. I mean, the plate mail helps against the Brewmaster splits, the Lone Druid, the Luna right-click damage, but Luna's most of the damage at the moment is coming from the Eclipse. As you mentioned, Laguna Blade, there's a lot of magic damage on the playing field. And more surprising, I guess, is, I mean, yeah, no hood, no pipe, and a lot of AoE nuke damage coming out of RNG spots.
Bot lane focusing on KYXY, trying to teleport out there, and no way to lock it out, just utilizing that full HP. And that's going to be it here as his teammates on top not able to push in. There's a big smoke. Look at the amount of sentries in the nearby vicinity. They just do not want to concede any vision here to the Radiant team.
Well, keep that map control up, and that's going to be a key thing here for LGD. And I think LGD decided they can't take these head-on team fights. They're going for a split push. They send 2 bottom, 3 top. They really want to make sure they get one of these tier 2 towers. Problem is, bottom lane, they have to be careful not to get caught. There's a smoke coming in from RNG Sport. They're not going to be able to get Pike out here. They've got nothing to go through that BKB except an entangle. Oh, KYXY.
Wow.
Ancient luck, man.
First hit roots.
Go.
But
the top tier 2, I guess.
Yeah, but despite the kill being picking up, I say LGD came out ahead. They got the tier 2 at the bottom. That wasn't denied. Tier 2 was picked off on the top lane. All for BKB Lycan. Sure, it hurts a little bit, but they'll take that trade here as they're backing off. Look at that goal lead. It's actually climbing up. And big Eclipse comes in right now. They're going to pick off a Keeper of Light as well. Again, a small victory for Orange Esports. They got to capitalize on that. I think they rush into the pit and try to get something going because, again, they want team fights. They're winning team fights. They're getting kills. But the goal chart says low, and it's going the other direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you say, they lost 2 tier 2 towers, and even the Lycan kill wasn't worth it. And the Lycan kill they only got because they were lucky. So that was regardless a good decision from LGD to look to force that. They had the BKB TP. Unfortunately for Pycat, he got a bit unlucky. And Orange, they need to make something. They had 2 heroes down there. They don't go into the Roshan pit. They had to push out some of these lanes. But with heroes on the LGD inside now respawning, you can't really look to take Roshan now. It's just too risky, and LGD push out these lanes too fast.
Yep.
They send Pycat bottom. They're going to push things out. They need to take these tier 1s. Orange have not taken a single tower of the game, I've just noticed, and that is, well, that's when you know you're in somewhat trouble. Even when you're up 18 kills to 13, if you can't take a single tower, well, how are you going to win the game?
It just goes back on how LGD is so diligent. Again, protecting that mid tower from that Luna, sending that Keeper of Light just absolutely everywhere, and basically abusing the fact that they have Lycan, they have Queen of Pain, and Recall. They are just going to be at the lanes faster. They don't have to use as much teleport spells. And yeah, you're never going to get a tower, and that's why you're down about 7,000, well, almost 10,000 gold at this point here. And of course, if you're ever by yourself pushing a tower, that Queen of Pain is going to find you with that Scythe of Ice, which she's been using to perfection so far. I think she missed a kill on the TP out on the Lone Druid, but aside from that, she's been using that Scythe whenever she sees an enemy hero.
Yeah, it's just go inside. I mean, even if you're not getting those pickoffs, right now for LGD, it's all about applying continuous pressure, I think, more than anything. And they know that they'll get a trade somewhere in the map. Last time it was tier 2 tower at top as well as bottom lane. Even if they give up a kill here and there, it's not a big loss for them. They know they're making up for it somewhere. Right now they've got Queen of Pain top. They will have a hero maybe caught out at bottom lane. Disruption is there. It's just to keep it light if they do lose. We will get entangled up. Burst down by Laguna Blade. They lose a gem though. It looks like. I think Gem was on the ground.
Yep, Gem was on the ground being dropped by Kato. I think that was the biggest loss, not the hero kill itself. Again, the thing is, it took them so much time to get that kill, right? By the time that they got the kill, they can't even get the tier 1 tower. Normally when you kill the Keeper, you jump for joy first of all, because Keeper's dead. And then you push down the tier 1s, but tier 2, tier 3 is being pushed down on the top, tier 2 is being pushed down on the mid, so you just have to go back and defend. Right now, Orange is playing LGD's game. They're not playing their own game. They can't actually get kills and push. In fact, they're getting kills and then they're defending towers. That's not what you want to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you say, kills like that aren't really worth it, because Orange, maybe they get at most maybe 500-600 gold spread between all their heroes, but the gold they lost by not sort of spreading their heroes around the map, farming Ancients, farming their own neutrals, is probably more than that. So they invest a lot of time just to kill the Keeper of the Light. Luckily, they do get a gem out of it. But I think they've had that gem for some time now, so maybe LGD, if they really want one, can rebuy it. But I think they're pretty happy with their current map control. They'll just want to maybe get one in another 5-10 minutes time. Although they do have to worry about Roshan right now. Roshan is up, and that's something which is going to be a hot point of contention right now. And I think the big thing is for Orange here, their carries just, they're not really looking like carry heroes right now. Mushi's getting there, but Lone Druid, he's really struggling. The Phase Boots Maelstrom is there. He's gone for this cheaper, more cost-effective build, but you just feel that he's not really doing much in these team fights unless he hits a really big Lucky Rook, which he's done a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, as well as also going back to our Brewmaster player, as well as he's playing, he's just a Brewmaster. He's not going to give you that late game kind of carry plan. Maybe he's going to get a very impressive ore item like Assault Cuirass to help his team, but at this point, that ultimate from his Aghanim Scepter, that's going to chase the supports around for a bit, but Queen of Pain's not going to be too impressed by it. Darkseer's going to run circles around it, now has a Shiva's Guard being finished, and Lycan, you know, obviously we know what Lycan does. He's going to run around with BKB and chase you to the end of his Earth. So I feel like, again, Brewmaster getting 7-0 and 8, he's not going to have a huge impact in the game.
Yeah, I mean, he has so far, but from here on out, it gets a lot more minimal. That Fire Panda can be burst down pretty fast once we see Lycan pick up another item. Even Queen of Pain can do some decent damage to it, and that's where your main source of damage is coming from as a Brewmaster. But they need the follow-up damage. They need Mushi at this point to be getting, I mean, basically he needs to have a Manta Style the next couple of minutes, but he's nowhere near that. And the two supports for Orange, I feel like they're getting caught out of a position a couple of times recently. They're getting caught by a vacuum follow-up damage coming out from Rubik. It's just, so far the supports from Orange, they need to be really careful with where they stand in these team fights, because once the two supports from Orange drop, the team fight is really hard to win from there. It's entirely relying on the Brewmaster. Lone Druid isn't really offering a whole lot, so it's very reliant on Lina to make sure that she can basically take out at least one of the two sort of, I'd say, key heroes, or one of the three key heroes out of Darkseer, Queen of Pain, or Lycan. You can't just be using those Lina stun and ultimate on a support hero.
I definitely agree, but I mean, that's where the beauty of this lineup is. Brewmaster is designed to jump to the back line and start disrupting the enemy support, and then you just go for a pickoff. Whether it's going to be on Darkseer, on Lycan, as long as you get one, suddenly that team fight gets a lot easier, because you know Brewmaster is going to keep at least one or two hero busy by himself. So I guess that's why Orange Esports been winning a lot of these engagements. But again, after winning a team fight, you have Shadow Demon, you have Lina, and you have Brewmaster, who can push to save their lives. So you're still playing LG's game as they're, again, keeping all their tier 1 towers alive, and you're getting out-farmed.
The only way, I mean, the Orange's game plan right now is to take this game 40, 50 minutes, because they can't, like you say, they can't push with a Brewmaster. That's their most farmed hero, basically, or at least the hero who's doing the best right now. They need Luna to get probably two more items right now. Lone Druid needs another item, so all these heroes need more items, and well, they're not really getting them because they're getting picked off here. G pops his BKB as Brewmaster comes in with the Primal Split. He needs to find a new target. He can't go on G, and he's just not really succeeding doing so. Pike it with the BKB on the Lycan. He's actually just focusing down the Primal Split forms. He's brought down two of them, and it's only the Earth Panda left standing, and there's a perfect example. Brewmaster Ultimate offers next to nothing. Yep, 2 BKBs gonna shut those Brewmaster ult down, but despite of that, looks like LGD gonna try to contest Roshan Border Bash from high ground to low ground. Kind of a sayonara Border Bash. But let's see what can the Dire team do about this. They still have Eclipse, and that's going to be the impressive ultimate. But keep in mind that LG still has that vacuum wall, and that there's an Eclipse from high ground to low ground, and that's going to do quite a bit of damage. But vacuum Luna to low ground. Looks like Brax has already dropped. They're going to focus on the Brewmaster. Still very tanky. Pycat's going to make off as well. Mushi pops BKB in a very timely fashion. Now he's going to try to sneak the Roshan. No bash, please. No bash, please. Is working. Meanwhile, his teammates ushering just about everybody away. Orange Esports wins a huge fight. Brax drops without Brewmaster ultimate. Yeah, it's a bizarre game, and it came down, I think, to the support play largely. Lina hit a couple big multiple hero stuns there. It was just really good focus firing, and then obviously that high ground Eclipse did some fantastic DPS to bring down the carry heroes, and BKBs being on cooldown as well. Both Queen of Pain and Lycan had no BKB, so I think it was a bit overconfident. LGD's decided, hey, they've got no Brewmaster ultimate, we can take Roshan, but what they didn't take account for was the fact they had no BKBs.
Yep. Yeah, the Eclipse, again, having the Eclipse available, like I said, Radiant had the wall, and generally when you have Darkseer in a pit fight, you expect to win that team fight. That didn't happen at all, and yeah, again, I want to say good support positioning, as they weren't caught off by it at all. They were able to do a lot of damage throughout that team fight. It looks like LG is back, but they're going to be back and have about 40 seconds to kind of recount how that team fight went, and it didn't go well.
No, not at all. All three key heroes going down, and finally, I think we see Orange Esports get themselves a tower.
Yeah, it's probably going to be that tier 1 mid, and then probably even going to rotate for a tier 1 bot as well, as 40 seconds is a lot of time. With that said, though, I do want to point out that Misery is up to 1700 gold, which is going to be a Blink Dagger territory. And once he gets Blink, that hero becomes insanely better. Insanely better. You could start reliably steal those Eclipses, or even Brewmaster Ultimate. And if you get a Brewmaster ult, you're getting the Acceptor version. So it's going to be pretty impressive. We say they're pushing, but
Radiant's mid tower.
1437 is going to have something to say about that.
Yeah, it'll be a tier 1. This could be the only tower they actually get right now. Well, no, the rotation bottom's already there. They've got Lone Druid there, and they're trying to defend this. No, recall on the Rubik. Rubik's being brought back towards mid lane, and Rubik actually gets put out.
Uh-oh, if he drops the dagger goal, that could be really bad. Misery in huge trouble. Huge play from afar. And Misery right now is just looking at 1437.
Yeah,
Radiant's mid tower.
I don't know what that was. He recalled him into like the middle of nowhere as he's TPing out. Like, I'm a bit confused.
Mistakes happen.
I agree. Mistakes do happen, and even to the best stars. This is the team who managed to get 2nd place in one of the most prestigious Dota 2 events out there to, well, the best team in the world, IG.
Yeah, their Lycan pick so far hasn't... I mean, it's definitely working the game plan. The game plan is making sure that you get your split push going on, but you could definitely see how split push works. You can't lose team fights. You can't get caught out. If you lose 1 or 2 heroes, like the BKB Lycan dying, that's fine. If you lose the Keeper of Light, fine. You just can't 5v5 and lose those fights, which they did. And suddenly you split push your hard-earned small advantage that you scrape by. You lose 2 towers, and suddenly 2k goes to the other side. And right now, Orange Esport, they're back in this. Look at this goal lead. It's gone.
Yeah, and it's getting to a point where Orange have finally seen that item progression they need on some of their carry heroes. Mushi, well, not item progression, he's got the gold for it, so he needs to start looking at the Manta style, or possibly just straight into a Butterfly. I think straight Butterfly wouldn't be all that bad here if he wants to go that way instead of the Manta style. The Manta style illusions could just get zapped down by Fade Bolt, Illuminate, Queen of Pain AoE. I mean, there's all so much just to basically take him out right away. And there's not like there's any direct stunts you want to dodge with a Manta style. There's no real heroes you need to sort of cause confusions with illusion. So I think maybe we look at a Butterfly.
Well, it looks like he just has purchased something, and...
Butterfly it is.
Man, we're
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, Manta style not exactly too stellar in this game. One thing it does offer you in the ultra late game is that it gives you a lot better pushing power, but you know, that could be his next item choice if he really wants that. But
they're not pushing anytime soon, it doesn't feel like, or they're just pushing tier 1. So if you're using Manta style just to push down tier 1s, then it doesn't seem like a game plan for me. We'll see Orange with a decent game plan at top. They're going to catch out one here. Misery does not stand a chance, and once again he was about 100 gold away from Blink.
Oh, they bought back and they
can try to this. G goes in with a BKB. He's going to need to catch up Ned in the trees here. It looks like that may be the only hero to fall. He's TPing out though. Have they got anything to cancel it? Sonic Wave's going to whiff. Oh, Brewmaster ultimate has been used though. Rubik maybe going to look for a steal here. He's bought back for this. He'd love to get this steal off. It's up and ready. He's going to chase that Earth Panda really intently here. Rax is trying to chase it down, and well, this is all about stealing. If they steal that, maybe LGD can look to push and go high ground.
Look at this body block. He's going to be reshelling himself to prevent that blink. Can he actually get the blink off? No! He gets blink, and now it's going to get picked up. Where's the pickoff? He was late on it because he stunned Misery. What a play!
He died, but that was amazing. That was so smart coming out from Ohio. For one thing, he knows he's dead, and for another thing, he knows if he loses Primal Split, LGD.int could potentially take Raxes.
I just have to say right now, Brewmaster is playing his hero to perfection. I don't generally say that a lot, especially this difficult hero to play with Brewmaster, but he's playing it to perfection.
No, this has been all about. Ohio has kept Orange Esports in this game for. I mean, without him, this is a completely different game. And we will see G getting caught out bottom lane. He's actually taking a lot of damage. BKB is still on cooldown. He blinks out just in time. This Spirit Bear, unfortunately, too low on HP to really pursue chase, but it's Lycan in the background. He's taken out Shadow Demon. He wants more. He wants to rejoin the fight here. As Orange Esports, they quickly realize this is not a fight they can take. Chain TP's out.
Not with BKB, a second BKB down on Luna, so they definitely backed out. Losing the Shadow Demon, again, not a big loss or anything. Did he drop a gem? Or did Lina have the gem? Looks like the gem might have been dropped, so... Or maybe not, because his inventory's full. I'm just checking out where the hell that gem went.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be on any of the Dire heroes.
And not on the Radiant hero either. I guess it just got picked off one of these engagements. Misery, by the way.
Oh, Luna's got the gem.
Oh, Luna's got the gem.
Casual hard carry with a gem here. I guess it makes sense. You've got Aegis there. If you've got the item slot, you may as well.
Sure.
Probably want a TP skull. He's going to put it back now. So he's going to give it back to his, I think, back to the Shadow Demon. So he picked it up for Shadow Demon. So he gets his TP back. And Mushi now back up to 2k gold.
Yep. The thing I want to point out is that Misery with that buyback with multiple death, one being TP in by 1437, I still thought that was hilarious. As well as the death and buyback earlier on top lane is that it really slowed down his Blink Dagger. He really needs Blink right now to defend this. And it looks like Orange starting to work on that tower. We already have Maelstrom Hyperstone up on the Spirit Bear. His item progression has been slow, but it's been steady. And that's exactly what you want from, you know, A semi-carry Lone Druid.
He's 300 away from an Assault Crest, so this is, I mean, it's a bit slow and a bit late, not what you'd want on your Lone Druid, but it's going to help. At Assault Crest really helps a lot against the physical damage coming from a Lycan. And, I mean, the main thing is, make sure that it's on the bear. You don't want to be giving the Assault Crest aura to the Radiant team if your hero gets caught in a Darkseer Wall of Replica, and those Wall of Replica illusions will do a lot less damage as a result of all that plus armor too.
LGD back to your split pushing plan. One thing that's really good about split pushing is that you get to farm in the enemy jungle as well. You get to starve them a little bit of gold. I think Lycan, this is at least his 6th or 7th time hitting the enemy Ancients. And of course, when you're split pushing up on the top lane, you can go into the jungle and farm slowly in there as well. But again, all these small advantages are acquired. And if you lose one team fight, all of that advantage is gone. And they've been losing a couple of team fights here and there.
Yeah, they need to be careful here. We will see bottom lane and potential gank coming out in KYXY. The Spirit Bear scouts it out. G is there with the Blink Sheep. The Assault Crest has just been bought. He's got no buyback. Blink Sheep, KYXY in all sorts of trouble. Here comes a Lycan with an ultimate. Sonic Wave, everything being used. Can they bring him down? He's got no TP. Assault Crest just being bought on his hero, and this looks like the end of KYXY.
Man, Hood Assault, or Cloak Assault, and about 2k HP, a whole bunch of spells, Sonic Wave and a fully charged Illuminate.
Yeah.
And I think that took him quite a bit to bring down. And it looks like we're going to force out a defense coming in from Orange. I don't think Orange will be pushed down here, but LG is going to poke their head up and at least try a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll see Mushi. They'll at least want to try and force Mushi back and make sure he doesn't go for the tier 2 here. They'll feel they can at least get some chip damage done. Maybe Pika, his ultimate, already back off cooldown now. Really short cooldown once you get that level 3 ultimate. So they are ready to go. And with Lone Druid not having buyback, they are going to make a play. G goes blinking in with a BKB. He wants Net the Shadow Demon. Just taking on a support hero off the bat can make a big influence. But here we go. In goes the Brewmaster. Primal Split gets used. Brax trying to be his target here. But is there enough follow-up damage? It doesn't really look like it. Net buys back as a Shadow Demon. And Orange they're holding, but they need to hold for a bit longer here. Lone Druid still on the sidelines. Laguna Blade not going to finish off Misery from the high ground. Mushi, Eclipse mostly tanked up by a creep wave here. There's just not enough damage coming out of Orange Esports for the time being. Brax, he's looking for a wall of replica. Can't find it just yet. He's stunned up. Can he get it off? Gets it off just in time here. Mushi's so low. Mushi brought down. Does he have buyback? Yes, he does. He's back in the fray now. Queen of Pain thrown up in the air. Ahai, whose ultimate's worn off. Has it been stolen by Rubik? Doesn't look like it. And Ahai now going to get brought down. Another hero who does not have buyback. And suddenly things take a turn for the bad side for Orange Esports.
They might have got the tier 2 up on top by the Luna, but Misery doing so much work, he eventually did end up dying, but just on the back line, drawing a lot of focus. And how much the Lycan threw. I mean, he killed the Shadow Demon without the Purge actually hitting on him, and after that, he was just running freely on the plains of the Dire Jungle, or Jai base, and he just basically chomped off one by another. Nobody looked at him. Nobody could deal with him because they're busy dealing with Misery. They're dealing with Brax. Brax, by the way, he didn't have the highest impact in that team fight, but he tanked all of the spells coming from everybody else, and that alone is impact enough.
Yeah, and that was, I think for Orange, it was a bad fight for them, but they had to take their fight. They sat back, they lose their tier 3 tower, possibly their Rax. They had to go out and fight. They were going to lose that fight with Lone Druid on the sidelines. They didn't have his Assault Crest. They didn't have, more importantly, the Entangle. The Entangle is the one thing they have to reliably kind of lock down Lycan, at least for a couple of seconds, if they get the Spirit Bear on him. But if they don't take the fight, well, then they lose their tier 3 tower, their Raxes. So I think Orange decided it's better to maybe take a risky fight, like we just saw, where they do lose a couple of heroes. They do get forced to buy back with Mushi. Mushi dies, buys back, but he's still got Yasha, Butterfly. He's still got a decent chunk of gold, so for them it's a worthwhile clash to be taking here, as it does buy them time to now get Lone Druid back online before their next clash, especially with Roshan respawning in a minute or two. They want to be sure that they're on even footing for that.
Yeah, if you lose a Rax against a split pushing team, it's almost GG, because that one big creep wave is going to put so much pressure that you're at least forcing to defend one hero there, and you're basically playing 4v5 for the rest of the game, which is some huge disadvantage. Luna, by the way, on the top lane here, after the buyback, might as well put most of her gold in a big item. It's going to be a Mantis out, and should have it in about a minute or two of a little bit of jungle farming. And here's the thing, LG right now should be enjoying the fact that they can't really easily get picked off anymore. The Shadow Demon plus the Laguna Blade combo isn't going to be reliably one-hit KO people anymore. And they don't have a good initiation in form of a Blink Scythe of Vice. Because again, Panda at this point, he blink claps and people could just run away.
Yeah, and at this point it's even hard to blink clap. You need to just almost blink straight into an ultimate if you're worried about the Scythe of Vice being up. And it's just a really scary amount of lockdown. Even if it had telekinesis hit, you can get brought down really fast by this Radiant team. And well, we're seeing more item progression coming out. Queen of Pain, MKB, or possibly even a Daedalus with this Demon Edge pickup here. So we'll see some DPS coming from G as well, recognizing the fact that Lycan is not going to be the best late game carry.
Bear getting massacred,
Yeah.
which it's going to make it difficult for the Lone Druid to rely too much on it in the next couple of minutes. And the item progression on LGD is slow and steady. So Curious gets finished, 2k gold in the bank. What do you think is his item choice going to be next? Is it going to be a Basher?
Yeah, I think Basher Abyssal Blade's a solid way to play this. Otherwise, you're looking at, if you want to go just tanky, like Heart of Tarask, it works okay. Even something as something a bit more gimmicky, like a Scythe of Ice. But I think Basher is the most standard way to play this if you're a Lycan.
Pycat's gonna lead the Roshan by himself right now. Gotta, again, respect the poison for giving sight. But it's gonna be difficult for them. Jump in, jump! Panda ultimate, they're gonna focus on Brax. Brax already drops ultimate. Look, his HP! He's done! G's gonna be the next focus. He's gonna try to blink back out. Looks like we do have Keeper Alive being thrown in the air. He's gonna be done as well. He might use his ult and blind, but yeah, he's gonna try. He's gonna be dead throughout that offensive disruption. Pycat gets thrown up in the air again! Nobody's safe from this Brewmaster ultimate. Anyway, the Boulder Bash, no Boulder Bash. BKB gets pop here. Huge ultimate from the Sonic Wave, but she gets thrown up in the air. Pycat getting focused through the BKB. Can they actually bring him down? He gets rooted. He's going to be done. And looks like G's going to be next. G's blinks up on the high ground. Can you detect her? There's sight up on the high ground. She's trying to make it out alive. She's going to blink back out. Another buyback from Lycan. We do have Misery come here. He's trying to snipe off the bear. Can he steal ultimate from Brewmaster? Looks like not.
Such a costly fight. I mean, so many buybacks being used by LG International, and that root came just in time to kill Pycat, but he went that entire fight without hitting any key roots there. He was looking first one on Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain blinked away, still died for it, and then he was hitting Pycat for so long without a root. He only got a root when Pycat was on about 200-300 HP. Lone Druid not his luckiest fight, but it worked out so well for Orange regardless, and you can see how important KYXY is, even without the big items on him. Just having an Assault Crest, having the Entangle against all these BKB heroes. Entangle is the lockdown to go through BKB right now, and is really it's no longer all about the Brewmaster. Brewmaster's still doing a lot in these fights, but so much more reliance is now coming out on these other heroes, and they're delivering.
Yeah, I do want to take back what I said about Brewmaster not having an impact this late in the game. When you have the fingers of God, you will have impact no matter what stage of the game, because you're tossing everybody up in the air. You did see the LGD Gaming trying to actually take advantage of the fact that there is no Panda split, and they want to take a fight over it, but still not confident enough. Here comes a little bit of Wolf for a little bit of scouting, but Orange Esports just easily cleans it up. I didn't expect them to get it because they don't split, but they just walked right in, and the Radiant team couldn't respond in time.
Yeah, Radiant team, they're too far off this one. They're going to go back to their split push style of play, LGD, and I think they realize this push coming could be really difficult to stop. We've got Mushi now with an Aegis. Do they actually look to go 5-man middle? I think the bigger issue is they're going to have to counter push. I think they realized it was something that happened yesterday against Mythtrust, where they were going for a 5-man push, and Mythtrust, well, just got free Raxes. Same thing happened earlier on up against First Departure, where they had an Anti-Mage, and Anti-Mage, while the teamfight was going on, just got some free uncontested Raxes. So Orange are kind of starting to learn their lessons from some of these games against Southeast Asian teams. The Southeast Asian teams have been beating Orange just by split pushing, just by going for these counter pushing. Now, that's a different style of play than the Chinese play, but right now we're seeing LGD, and basically their late game strategy is got to be about split pushing when you've got a Lycan, not the best head-on teamfight hero up against a farm Luna and, well, a semi-farm lone Druid because of the Entangle being there.
I mean, he's getting to a point that you can't ignore him anymore. He's got Vlad's on his actual hero for a little bit of armor aura, and he's got the Assault as well as the Maelstrom up on his bearer, so he's dishing out insane damage. And to be honest, it's actually not the damage that's the most impressive thing. It's his timely roots. These roots just have been shutting down the BKB carries. Looks like a very deep smoke being used, and they're trying to bait out defend coming out from Kato. Kato's going to put up his Illuminate, going to back off, which another reason why this hero's completely imbalanced. You could defend a tower without even being there. But speaking of which, Pycat leading a push on the mid lane.
Yeah, Pycat trying to force some TPs back in the fence. He knows that Orange can't even push this tier 2 at bottom if he has to force these TPs back. And while the smoke from Orange Esports, they're trying to maybe find a hero who's retreating and backing off. LGD and actually spending a lot of time in the enemy jungle here. Maybe they're going to be the ones going for a pick-off here. There's Luna Mushi at top lane. He's got an Aegis, but they can bring someone down quick and fast and then get out. They'd love to do so, but for the time being, LGD, and I think they realize they've overstayed their welcome on the other side of the map.
These wolves going to be harassing Net a little bit. I feel like the item progression has been just completely halted for LGD International for about the past 15 minutes or so. I think we saw Queen of Pain picked up a Demon Edge since then, but Lycan has not got a single thing. Darkseer has not got a single thing. And of course, Misery picked up a Blink Dagger and about 1,000 gold, but beyond that, there's just no item progression. I guess Keeper of Light picked up an Ultimate Orb, but compared to the item progression of the Dire, I think we saw a Butterfly Manta being picked up on Mushi. We have Vlad's as well as a complete Assault up on the Bear, and think that's it. But those items
Yeah.
are pretty impressive compared to a measly Demon Edge on Queen of Pain, who disconnected again.
Well, I mean, looking at the gold graph over the last sort of 10 minutes or so, it's been about a 8K drop in favor of Orange. And it's even more than that if you consider all the buybacks LGD just did. That's gold they're not spending on items. So the gold that Orange are using on items right now is probably closer to about 15K in items or so that Orange have been buying these new items with. Well, LGD.int, they've been using on buybacks. They haven't seen any item progression for Orange. Well, like you say, great item progression there. All these heroes, Luna with 2 new items, Brewmaster, I mean, he's got this Vlads, and suddenly it's like, hey, he's also got 3.2k gold. The problem is with Brewmaster, what do you actually get after this? I mean, there's not really too many more auras you can get. They already have the Drum of Endurance on Mushi, and it's not really the most powerful late game aura. Maybe we see something like a Shiver's Guard on him, but even that is, I mean, not really going to be up against a ton of physical damage.
Yeah, they even doubled up on the Vlads, which I'm not sure what the exact idea is about. They don't get better in pairs, but okay.
Yeah, I think Lone Druid maybe just overlooked the fact his teammate had one. He got the Assault Crest and was like, hey, I need another, like, what's another good aura that's going to help a lot here? I think Lone Druid should go for bashes. Like, when I say bashes, I mean 2.
Both.
One on his hero, one on his bear.
Why the hell not, right? Yeah.
It's going to help a lot against the Lycan for lockdown. Also the BKB Queen of Pain. If you want to get some more reliable lockdown to keep Queen of Pain in place, that's one way to do it. Having those bashes, at least on your Spirit Bear.
Yeah, I guess one other item that Brewmaster could consider is a Scythe of Ice. I mean, those are always good. Yeah. I know you're spending a lot of time out of your hero form, but you could blink Scythe. Oh, Scythe does has an instant cast animation, but we'll talk about that later as Glyph is going to be used on the mid lane. Wolves coming in and out. Scout this out, but look at 5 Luna, and they're just clay bouncing the heck of the base. And
well, LGD aren't fighting this. They're split pushing top, they're split pushing bottom.
A very, very good choice. That's going to force people to TP back as they can't actually base race. Here we go. Ultimate being used here from... No, he blinks. No ultimates here. And Pycat says, all right, I'll focus on the tower. Where's the Purge? They got to Purge him and slow him down. There... No! Lost sight.
Purge doesn't go through anyways. Lycan ultimate...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Lycan ultimate says low. Well, Lycan ultimate is gonna... Root? Oh, it's gonna be so close! Body block? No, he's phasing, so he can't body block. Another beam right now. And here we go. Attempted. Pycat getting everything blocked.
Just kill the bear. Oh, he just
wow.
Maybe. Oh man. But no. I don't think Purge doesn't slow down the.
No, it does not. I was completely wrong. Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. I'm like, okay, this is going to blow my mind if I'm not correct on this one, but I wasn't 100% convinced of myself.
Meanwhile, the bear gets lifted up on the top lane. That's going to sustain a lot of damage. Mana leak on the bear because he has no mana, so it's an instant. Look at how much damage it did, like over 2k damage on an insanely tanky bear. He's going to have to send that back to the fountain for a little bit of extra healing. Look at how the way they're playing. They lost Lycanthrope. They're right in your racks. They just don't care. KYXY gets scythed up. He's very tanky. Defensively disrupt. Panda blink. Oh, they're going to focus on Brax. Where toss him in the air. No, there's a Purge. There's a Boulder Bash. They want to focus down. There's a Laguna Blade. They see G. Can you actually toss him in the air? Looks like they were looking for somebody else, but he's out.
The nighttime vision prevented sight there. Mushi does get some out of towers here. Tier 2s go down, and he's going to BKB TP out. Makes a smart decision using that. But actually, no, there was no stun. The Sign Device was on cooldown, but good trade for Orange. They get themselves some kills. They actually have buyback from the Darkseer gets used as well. So Mushi slowly breaking through this LGD international base.
We have 8,000 gold before on Luna. I think she just bought a Helm of Dominator. She could actually go for a Satanic, full Satanic right now for buyback. She is going to be doing that as Recipe is on top. And once that item gets delivered, we might be going to game 2, especially with this kind of initiation. They focus on Brax. Laguna Blade, not even necessary as Fiery Soul. That's where it's at.
Yeah, this is looking good all of a sudden for Orange. That's LGD.int. They're Darkseer on the side, and he's got no buyback. He just used it. Lycan is up, but Lycan doesn't do well up against a big team fight here. Lycan can't really fight into this 5-man push, and he wants to maybe go for a split push bottom, but he's so far away from him. He's out of position to do so. And they're going to give up Brax's Queen of Pain as well as Lycan both charging bottom.
Yep. One of the most enjoyable thing in the game, in my opinion, is Luna's only Raxas with bounces. It is just beautiful to watch. Let's look at this. How is that even fair?
Goes around and round in that big square. And there's 2 sets of Raxes down. They're going to swing top as well. It looks like they'll TP back to try to defend their own Raxes. There is no glyph up here. Lone Druid the first to TP, and here comes Lycan, and I think he just focuses the Raxes, but Orange, they'll give up their Raxes for Mega Creeps here. At least that's, I think, the decision they'll try and make.
Well, no, looks like not. They're going to be both teleporting back. Pycat's going to probably pay with his life. BKB Ultimate's going to be on the run, and that should be enough to get him back out alive. But 2 Raxes, 4, perhaps even 3. BKB on Mushi. Eclipse being dropped. It's going to focus on G. G gets pursed up. G can't blink back out. Double kill of Bounces and Glyph. Focus on the Raxes low. Yep, they do get the kill as well. And looks like Net is going to be going work. Net slowly right-clicking. He's disrupting his teammates.
Get them Raxes, Net.
The bounce is going to be enough. And that's going to be the Mega Creeps. Orange Esports looks like they're going to take game number 1. Again, 5-1 against practice. Or against LGD.int in practice.
Just seeing on that high, I love what Net was doing. He spent so much time just sitting behind Mushi, not revealing himself. He purged from Fog, and he helped bring down that Queen of Pain, and then all those defensive disruptions being used. He could have been on the high ground attacking the Raxes from the start, but he decided to keep himself hidden. He caught LGD International by surprise, helped Mushi pick up a couple kills, and LGD.int, well, this is the 5-man all-mid YOLO. We've got nothing to lose push coming down towards Orange Esports, and they'll be able to handle this pretty easily, I imagine.
Yep. I mean, they could just stay in front of their tier 3 tower and basically send AoE after AoE and defend this. There's nothing pressuring for them to do anything besides defending at this point, and that's probably the position that you always want to be at. Luna's goal per minute has been rising, by the way, as the game progresses. She's getting more creep kills, more Raxes, more farm. Yeah, they're gonna just defend this.
This is all in. The good news is Orange, there's a couple of heroes missing buybacks now after that last fight. In fact, only Brewmaster and Lina have buybacks. So Lina buyback not going to offer can offer a whole lot. Having Lina come back for some more AoE stuns could make a bit of a difference here. But Brewmaster, if he's used ultimate, buying back isn't going to always do a whole lot.
Yep, again, 0 item progression here, even on this last desperate push. We do have an MKB finish. Let's see if that's going to be enough. The Luna illusions just cleaned up, or at least forcing a vacuum out so far. The bear in front still tanking it up. They're just biding for time, because eventually they just have to defend for about 30 more seconds, and that should be enough.
Mushi just picks up a relic now. He hasn't got buyback, so he's like, I may as well get another item here. I mean, it looks like a Divine Rapier, but Abyssal Blade the other possibility.
They gotta back off.
Their throat's going down. They're not going to make it in time.
That's game. They had one push in them, and there's a GG being called. Misery agrees as well. So, yeah. Game 2 coming your way. Wow.
What a game 1. What a game 1. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This has been the GST Challenge. For those of you guys who want to support Beyond the Summit, be sure to follow the stream. Click the little follow button under the stream. You can follow us here, as well as follow myself and Luminous on Twitter. I'm twitter.com/btsgods. He's twitter.com/LuminousInverse. And to those of you guys who want to watch the games in Dota TV, you can buy a Dota TV pass for $3 only for the GST Challenge, the GST Dota 2. It gets you all the GST games in February and March, so that's only $3. So if you want to support us in this tournament, feel free to do that. Thanks for coming over, Luminous. We've got at least one more game, hopefully 2 more.
Yep.
Although you've got classes in like a couple hours.
I got class in an hour, so I don't even know if I want to root for a best of 3 or a game 2 victory. But for now, Orange Esports takes game number 1. This is the GEST Challenge, and this has been a broadcast of the Beyond the Summit. Somebody just got an item, but it didn't show. In any case, thank you guys for watching so far. We'll be back after a short break.
I think it does that item thing when it bugs out, because I can't leave the game. Can you leave the game?